I'm Audrey Foster with Nebraska Extension in Custer County, and I'm their summer employee. Today, I'm thrilled that you've decided to join us for modeling school, and I can't wait to get started. Fashion show judging is going to look a lot different than normal, as you guys can probably imagine. And today, we are going to, throughout this workshop, we are going to be discussing the changes and the flow of this particular year of clothing judging, because it's going to look a lot different if you guys have attended in the past. And then we're also going to explain how you can prepare for clothing judging, and then we're going to demonstrate how you can model both for the judge and our virtual fashion show. So to begin, I'm going to start off with discussing the changes, because sometimes I think it's good to know what we're working towards than with the preparations if we know what some of these changes are going to be. So as you guys know, our clothing judging day is on July 16th, and our 4-Hers, according to the quantity of entries they have, will be placed on a time schedule so that we can control the number of people who are in our buildings at a certain time, and we want to stick with these as close as possible. So it's really important that you signed up at that you show up at your assigned times. Also, 4-Hers are encouraged to follow a pattern or a flow while they go throughout the judging day, such as they're supposed to appear for the fashion show judges first. Then they'll be videoed and photographed for the virtual fashion show, and then they'll go see the construction judges. So they'll start out over in the Challenge Center at the E-Free Church for their fashion show, where they'll model for both the judges and our virtual fashion show. And then they'll move over to the church part, or more of the multi-purpose room in the actual church. And that's where they'll do their construction judging. And then another big change for our clothing judging day is that the judging day will not be open to the public, and only the 4-Her and immediate family members or appropriate adults are allowed inside the building. So we don't necessarily want younger siblings or young children who are not participating running around the church. And okay, so since your day is going to start out with the being judged for fashion show over in the Challenge Center, we'll kind of go into more detail with that first. So as you guys have gathered, there's going to be no public fashion show because our space cannot accommodate as many people as normally attend. And so in place of our public fashion show, we're going to have a virtual alternative, and the footage will be filmed right after each 4-Her walks for the judge, and this will compile a video, and this will be available at a later date. Another big change for this year is that each 4-Her is only allowed to model 2 outfits. This is to help streamline the process and keep the day moving along. Also, fashion show entries will be entered and judged in the Challenge Center, as we kind of discussed, and we will provide 2 classroom locations for changing rooms so that we can assume social distancing rules and we can observe them in these spaces. And then, in order for this to be accomplished, we really need everyone to show up at their assigned times. Also, judging for fashion show will happen with the judge sitting at the table and the 4-Her modeling in front of the table. A door monitor will be present to direct the 4-Hers to the modeling judges, and comment sheets and ribbons will not be handed out to the 4-Hers at the time of judging, but later. And also, there will be no callbacks given this year to streamline the process and to make it so that 4-Hers don't have to wait around throughout the day. They can get in, get their judging done, and leave in order to be able to accommodate more people in our spaces. Okay. So for our virtual fashion show, what's going to happen is once the 4-Her has finished modeling for the fashion show judges in the Challenge Center, then he or she will move to the kitchen classroom space where they will be recorded on video in their outfit as well as photographed in their outfit. And then the judges can also refer back to this video when making their final choices. And the video footage and photographs will be used for our virtual fashion show and for a display in the exhibit hall as needed. So if you guys can recall in past years, we've had printed photos placed in the exhibit hall, and that's when we'll take our photos for that, and the virtual fashion show will take the place of our public fashion show. As will be demonstrated later in this video, we'll demonstrate how you can model for both the judge and for our virtual fashion show. Also, 4-Hers must have signed up for fashion show on their entry forms in order to participate in the virtual fashion show and to be able to model in front of the judge for modeling. Okay, So after you've finished your judging for fashion show and done the recording for your virtual fashion show and the photographs, then you'll go to construction judging. And if you aren't doing fashion show, then you can go right to construction judging. You won't have to mess around with the previous couple steps. And so what clothing judging will look like is clothing construction entries will be entered and judged in the multi-purpose room of the E-Free Church building. And once again, you need to come at your scheduled times. And 4-Hers will leave the items in the judging room, and comment sheets and ribbons will not be given to the 4-Her when they're done judging. They will be stapled to the storage bag containing the items at the end of judging. So you'll leave your items there where we're not doing callbacks or a public fashion show. You can just leave your items with the construction judge. You don't have to take them back. You can leave them there for the rest of the day and everything. And then the extension staff will be in charge of transporting them out to the exhibit hall. Okay, I guess in my next point, all exhibits will be held at the end of the day as we usually do, and those items will have comment sheets and ribbons attached to them, and then they will be transported to the exhibit halls for the fair. Okay, so now that we've gone over what these days will look like and some of our big changes, we're going to move into how you can prepare for these judging days, and be forewarned that we don't know exactly what all this stuff is going to look like yet, because just like you guys, we're being flexible and are going with the flow with this and are making best of our situations as they arise, and we can't foresee everything that's going to come up. So this is the plan that we've laid out so far. If you have questions, please reach out to the Extension office, which can be contacted at 872-6831. But also, I mean, a lot of this we're just going to get to be flexible and have a new experience and learn about patience. Okay. So next up, we're going to learn about how you can prepare for Clothing Judging Day, which is Thursday, July 16th. I think it's approaching way too fast, but that may be just me. Okay, so the main thing you can do for this is to practice. And you have quite a bit of time before then to practice. And you can practice in many different ways, such as asking a family member or two to watch you while you're modeling and to give you feedback. Or you could practice in front of a mirror. Or you could get someone to video you so you can see your modeling skills. You have a lot of options, but practice will really help with this process. Also, it's really important to practice walking in the shoes you're going to be modeling in, because they impact your posture and how the garment flows on your body, so it's very important to be comfortable in your shoes. Also, as we have no public fashion show, you don't need to write narratives this year, so you don't have to worry about those, you don't have to turn them in, just, you can cut them out. Okay. In the days before clothing judging, you can prepare your projects, such as by attaching identification labels. Identification labels, which are outlined in your 4-H premium book, will have your county, name, age, project name, class, and number of years you've been in the project. These are super important because sometimes your entry tag and garments get separated, and it's very important so that then extension staff can match up the right project with the right ribbons and give you credit for all your hard work. So make sure you have these identification labels. And back to these identification labels, they can be either written on a piece of paper and attached to them. I've also seen them where they're written on pieces of fabric and sewn in, or else they can be pinned in with safety pins. It depends on you and your garment, but just make sure that they are in there. Also, in the days before clothing judging, make sure you press your garments. It's very, very important to press them so that they're looking as sharp as possible. And you want to put your garments on hangers. Wire hangers are preferable. You need to use wire hangers. And then in past years, we've had you guys get plastic garment bags from either the dry cleaners or the extension office ahead of time. This year, we are going to have all those bags at the church. You are not, don't pick them up ahead of time. We'll have them at the church. This is a precaution we're taking in order to reduce the amount of times we have to take these bags on and off the garments, and so that we'll handle these bags less, so we will have them at the church. Also at the church, we'll have hanger racks available inside the dressing rooms in order to hang your garments to keep them nicely pressed. Also, while you're prepping for clothing judging, gather any items you'll need to model your outfit, such as shoes and accessories, and put them in a bag to take with you. It's also a good idea to put your name on your items, just because it can be kind of hectic and stuff gets thrown different places, and then it's easy to just keep track of your stuff. Okay, so what are the modeling judges looking for? Confidence is the main thing. You need to look poised and tall, make eye contact with the judges, and judges love to see you smiling. I mean, they chose to judge 4-Hers because they love kids, and so make sure that you're smiling and having fun. And even if you're not having fun, at least pretend you are, because that's something they look for, is smiling, eye contact, and standing tall and having confidence. They're also looking for a good fit and a well-groomed appearance, and creativity is also very important. You can show creativity through how you style your hair or accessorize or color choices. Just make sure that it's a cohesive outfit in the end, though. Also, they're looking for accessories that complete the look of the outfit. The accessories are worth 10% of your judging score, so they are important and they do make a difference. Also remember that to pick selections that look good on the individual modeling them. This can be color and also silhouettes of the style, and this is going to be different for everyone, but everyone has silhouettes that look great on them. Okay, so the actual score sheet that the judges will be looking at have this breakdown. They're going to be looking at the individual 20%, such as how you wear the garment or if you wear the garment with confidence and ease, if you're well-groomed, poised, smile, look at the audience, and show off the outfit in a pleasing way. Like I mentioned, they're going to be looking 10% at the accessories to make sure that you have a total, completely finished look and that they coordinate well and are appropriate both for the garment and age-wise. And keep in mind that accessories can be anything. I mean, they don't have to be just jewelry, but they can also be different things, such as if you're modeling pajama pants, you could have a stuffed animal with you. You can get creative with this. Also, the selection will be 25%, such as if it's age appropriate, if the style, fabric, and color are becoming on the person, the compatibility of the fabric and the notions and pattern, and if they are suited for the intended use and enhance the figure. Creativity is 15%, and that's if it shows an attractive, appealing, and imaginative use of color, texture, pattern, and style, and if it follows the principles of design, and if it's distinctive. Construction is also 15%, such as if the techniques are appropriate, inconspicuous, functional, durable, pleasing, giving a well-made appearance to the garment, and if it's clean, neat, and well-pressed. Fit is also 15%, such as if there's enough wearing ease for comfort, movement, and smooth fit, and to make sure there's an absence of wrinkles or sags where they do not belong, and that design lines fall attractively and the grain of the fabric is in alignment. So this is something that can be good to study as you're prepping for clothing judging, and we went over it kind of fast here, but it's a great idea to revisit that as we get closer to clothing judging. Okay, when you're modeling in front of the judge, there will be, the only people that will be in this area of the church will be you and 2 judges. And the judges will be sitting at a table in the middle of the room, and when you walk in, go stand in front of the table and directly in front of the judges with enough room for the judges to see your whole outfit. I believe that we'll also have tape marked down so that you'll stay a socially distanced, appropriate distance away from them. And then the judges may ask you questions about your items and outfits first, or she may want to have you model first and then ask questions later. Just listen to her and go with the flow of it. When you are doing the modeling part, there should be 3 X's taped onto the floor, and if you're modeling an outfit, turn around or pivot at each of these X's. However, if you're modeling an accessory or something such as a pillow or a tote bag, you're not necessarily showing off your outfit, but the item. So you just need to rotate the item at each of these X's. And we'll go over more in-depthly later on in the video how you can pivot and model at each of these in front of the judges. And when you are finished at each of the 3 X's, return to the middle of the room in front of the table and allow time for the judge to write comments. She may ask you to model again or may tell you that you can leave, and just be happy and smile. And remember that the ribbon you receive is based on how you do in front of the judge right then, not how you do for the video later. So when you're modeling your outfit, there's some important things to keep in mind, such as garment features. If you want to show off a collar, trim, or special feature of your garment, move your hand gracefully to draw attention to it. Also, when you do this, you went to all that hard work to put in that collar, trim, or special feature, you need to show them off because they are a lot of work. So make sure you do this both in front of the judge and in the video. Also remember that lights are bright, so make sure that you wear appropriate undergarments and that your garment isn't too sheer, and remember that undergarments should not detract from the garment, but they should be comfortable. If you have pockets, if you go to the work to put in pockets, you need to make sure you draw attention to them. And yeah, they're cool. You need to make sure to celebrate them. And like I mentioned earlier, if it's STEAM 1, make sure that, such as modeling a pillowcase or pillow tote bag, it's different from modeling a garment, and I'll demonstrate this later. But you don't need to turn around your physical body, you need to turn around that pillow or bag. And this also can go for textile accessories such as in Beyond the Needle or the other clothing projects. Shoes are another important thing to remember. Like I said earlier, they need to be comfortable and practice in them. But also there's different types of shoes that are appropriate at different times. Flip-flops can be great for pajamas or other casual outfits, but you wouldn't necessarily wear them with a prom dress. Flats are great with dresses, jeans, shorts, and skirts. Flats are honestly pretty universal, and if you're comfortable in them, you wear them. Heels can be great because they give you great posture and they can make dressy clothing look even more formal, but if you can't walk in heels or you aren't comfortable in them, don't use them. Go for a different option because there's nothing worse than not being comfortable when you're up in front of modeling for the judges. And if you can walk well in them, they'll help you stand even straighter and taller, and they're great, but make sure you're comfortable in them. Even if you've worn a lot of heels, make sure you're comfortable in wearing the heels that you are currently wearing because each pair of heels is a little bit different in my experience. Also, like I've mentioned, whatever shoes you choose, make sure you feel confident walking in them and that you've practiced. Here are some great shoe choices. In the picture on the left, there are some bright shoestrings that she dressed up her outfit with. In the center, those black boots really show off the outfit, and on the right side, the brown boots. So different shoes work great for different outfits, and this can be a great spot to add in creativity, originality with your outfit. Accessories also make a difference with your outfit, such as different hats can be great, such as a giant sun hat or a more stylized hat. Also, if you're carrying an accessory, have it close to you or slightly away, but make sure that it doesn't hide your outfit. So this model's little monkey here is perfect size, but you wouldn't necessarily want a teddy bear half the size of you because it'd detract from it'd cover up a lot of your outfit that you worked hard to make. Scarves can be a good accessory, and there are a lot of different ways to tie them on the internet. And then remember that jackets and coats may or may not be taken off. If the jacket is the feature you are showing, leave it on. You can turn back to one side of the coat if the lining is special in some way, or else you can leave it on. If you've also created the outfit underneath, it would be a good idea to take it off so that you can show off your hard work of the outfit underneath. Jewelry is also important because necklace, bracelets, earrings, they can make your outfit look dressier and just add more personality. Here's one blue dress that it shows how you can accessorize one dress a lot of different ways. On the left side here, when you put it with flats and orange jewelry, it makes it look pretty summery and casual, but then when you pair it with a sweater and little boots, it looks a lot more fallish. Here's that same dress, and if paired with cowboy boots and a denim jacket, it looks more Western, versus if you put it with a set of bangles, yellow purse, and a pair of flats. So keep in mind that accessories are a great way to switch up your outfit and to make it uniquely you. Another good thing to remember when you're preparing for clothing judging is good grooming, such as make sure your hair is done and that you're wearing it in some fun way when you model. And this can be different depending on your outfit. I mean, you can curl it or straighten it or however you want to style it. But also, if you want to French braid it or put it in a bun, just make sure that it goes with your outfit and that you feel confident with it. Also, I wouldn't show up with bedhead even if you're modeling pajamas, just because that sends the signal to the judge that you haven't invested that much in this, and you want to have a refined look. So make sure you take some time to do your hair that morning. Also, nails are another important thing to remember, and you don't necessarily have to have them all painted or done, but make sure that you don't have old polish and that they're at least clean. If you want to paint them, make sure that the paint looks good with all the outfits you're modeling. Okay, so I've gone through that pretty quick, so feel free to jump back to different parts of that video. The premium book also has some great information in it as far as dates and deadlines, and the number of the extension office is 872-6831 and is another phenomenal resource for if you have questions over anything. Let's see. At this time, I think we're good to start discussing how to model. When you model for the virtual fashion show, you will start out at 1x. There will be a second X placed approximately 20 feet away. You'll walk straight towards the X, and at that X you'll pause, then pivot. Make sure to pause after you pivot, and then you'll walk back to your original X. When you model for the fashion show judge, there will be 3 X's one on either side of you and one behind you. You can start out with going to either of the X's on either side of you. You'll pause, then pivot, then you'll walk to the back X. When you get to it, you'll pause. Notice how whenever I pause, my feet are at 10 and 2. Well, one of them is at 12 and the others are at 10 or 2. Then you're gonna go ahead and pivot at the 2 remaining X's. And then you'll go back to stand in the center in front of the judge. You'll smile here and wait for further instructions. If you're going to be modeling a pillow, pillowcase, or even a tote bag, you don't need to go ahead and rotate your body, but what you'll do instead is you'll rotate the pillow at each of the X's to show off the back side. So how I like to do this is take diagonal corners and just rotate my item around, and then I'd rotate it back. You want to make sure and pause when you're rotating it, but you'll just go ahead and show off each of the sides. Same goes for your tote bags. Now, I wish you each best of luck as you prepare for your clothing judging day, and remember that if you have any questions, please contact the Extension office at 872-6831, and also consult your premium books.